Hi friends, welcome to EduTap. So welcome to day 39, 5 MCQs a day discussion. Now this is a regular series brought to you by EduTap where each day we come up with 5 different MCQs. Now these MCQs have relevance for NABARD grade A and B 2018 examination. They're also relevant for those examinations that have agriculture as its core component like IBPS AFO, FCI, IBPS AFO Scale 2 in RRB 2018 examinations. So the NABARD grade A admit cards are out, so kindly download them. We know that the prelims. Now friends, we have come up with one course, a new course that is. So what are we going to discuss today? So we shall again be taking 5 questions that are from the ESI section, mostly related to the static topic. Okay, so let us begin with the discussion of the first question. The question says, till the year 1979, the approach to estimate the poverty was traditional. Okay, by traditional we mean in terms of lack of income. Okay, but later an approach to measure poverty in terms of starvation, that is in terms of how much people eat, was adopted. Which of the following committees was the first to adopt this particular approach that we are talking about? Now the answer to this question is YK Alag committee. Kindly memorize this answer. Now this particular question can be linked to the topic of poverty in the ESI syllabus. Okay friends, so what is this approach that we are talking about? So initially, that is before YK Alag committee's recommendation were initiated, we used to just generally mention that, for example, a person has rupees X. We don't know what this rupee is. We are just taking an example. If that person is having below this amount, that person was considered poor. Okay, now this amount was just in general sense taken. Okay, we did not relate this to a specific thing. But after YK Alag committee, the criteria of coming at this particular value that we are talking about changed. How did it change? Let us have a look at this reading. Okay, so the first thing, the approach to measure poverty in terms of how much people eat was first of all adopted by this particular committee, that is YK Alag committee's recommendation in the year 1979, whereby the people consuming less than 2,100 calories in the urban areas or less than 2,400 calories in the rural areas are poor. So what they did is they came out with a certain number of calories that are actually required for survival. Okay, and this calorie intake was calculated separately for urban areas and then for rural areas. Now why is it separate? Because if you see in urban areas, mostly the job are office job, desk jobs. So people do not have much of physical exertion. So you can see that the calorie requirement for rural area is more. Okay, and the calorie requirement for urban area people are less. So you can see because of the varying characteristic of urban and rural life, this classification is important and there's a difference in the number of calories, minimum number of calories as well. So after coming out with this calorie, we cannot just have calorie as the benchmark, right? Now we need to find out the monetary value of this calorie. So how are we going to do that? We are going to ascertain the quantity of consumption that is required and what is the value or the price of that particular quantity. So if I say, if suppose X quantity must be taken in the diet, so what is the price of this X quantity? Okay, so after coming at all this, a particular value was arrived at and that value was considered as a benchmark for considering whether a person falls above poverty line or below poverty line. Okay, so you need to understand that before was a traditional approach where all these things where we are taking into account this calorie requirement was not in place. They used to just generally come out with the idea and they used to place before a number saying that, for example, rupees 32. If a person is earning less than that, they would put that person in poverty category, below poverty line. This is just an example. But later on, after YK Alag committee recommendation was put forth, they started to derive the same value through calorie requirements. Always we have the money value only as criteria, but how do we arrive at this particular money? That is the case. That is the point that we are discussing here. So friends, here you can see a tabular column that mentions the various committee on poverty estimation in India. Okay, so kindly pause the video and make sure that you memorize the committees and the corresponding years in which they were formulated. The last two committees, that is Tendulkar Committee and Rangarajan Committee, are very important. Next, let us go to question number 2. So this question says, which of the following statements is or are incorrect regarding disguised unemployment in India? So first thing, friends, just a small thing here, that whenever you have a look at the question, kindly make note of whether they are asking the incorrect statement or they are asking the correct statement. Sometimes just because of your negligence, you can go wrong with the answer if you are in a hurry to read the question. Okay, so the first thing, mark this particular point out here. Now this question can be linked to the unemployment topic, the employment generation topic rather, that is present in our syllabus. So here you can see the options. Let us go through the statements one by one. It is regarding disguised unemployment. So when more people are engaged in a job than actually required, a state of disguised unemployment is created. Yes, this is correct. We shall have a look at what is disguised unemployment, and then you would be able to appreciate this question better. Next, a disguised unemployed person is the one who seems to be employed but actually he is not, right? Third statement, the contribution of a disguisedly unemployed person to the total output is maximum. This statement is wrong. So our correct answer is statement number 3. Let us anyway have a look at the fourth statement. It says in India, the agriculture sector experiences the prevalence of this type of unemployment. This is a fact. Yes. So the answer to this question is statement or the option number 3. Okay, so now let us have a look at what is this concept of disguised unemployment. Now what we shall do is we shall take a very simple day-to-day example, okay, and then we will try and understand what it means. Now suppose there is a field, okay, and there is a farmer family of 5 members. All the members of this family are actually working in this field, okay, and they're trying their best to come out with good yield at the end of the cropping season. Okay, now for example, rice crop is grown in this field, and after say the sowing season, they come up with a rice produce of say 100 kgs. Now, this is a very hypothetical example. We are not considering the laws or anything else or any external factors that have played in this obtaining of 100 kg of rice. Okay, so simple. 5 members working for one sowing season. At the end of the season, they get 100 kg of rice. So basically, you sow paddy, and after that, you get rice. Okay. Now, what happens is the next sowing season, okay, again, instead of 5 members, 3 members are working on the field. Just imagine that 2 members out of 5 are actually not working and maybe they have migrated to the urban area or they were ill, any other reason you may consider. Now, again, these 3 members are trying their best to sow again the same crop, that is paddy. Now at the end of the sowing season, they see that again the produce that they have got is only 100 kg of rice. In fact, they're surprised because initially they expected that instead of 100 kg, they would get less because 2 members are not available this time. But to their surprise, again they have got the same amount of yield, and here we need to assume that all the conditions were same. Okay. Now what happens, we realize that these 2 members were actually disguisedly unemployed. That means this particular work actually required only 3 members, but instead of that there were 5 members working for the same work. Okay, so this means that these 2 members, even if they weren't there, the same amount of output is actually expected. Now, let us just read these 2 points and you can make sense of what we just discussed. So when a person is disguisedly unemployed, then his or her contribution to the total output is zero or negligible. So you can see that because these two members were contributing zero to the work, that's why even when they are absent, the same amount of output is produced. Okay, this happens because the same work could have been completed on time even without the participation of the disguisedly unemployed person. That's what we have seen in our example. These two members, even in their absence, the same amount of rice is obtained. Okay, so you need to understand that this kind of disguised unemployment prevails because of less employment opportunities. Okay, people do not find any alternative source of employment and they tend to keep doing the same thing that they have been doing for the past so many years, and they do not realize that actually they're not giving any input to the work. Okay, so this is a kind of unemployment that is prevalent in the agriculture sector of India. Because of the more number of people employed in this particular sector, we see that this kind of unemployment is prevalent. So now let us have a look at question 3. So it says, in which of the following places is the African Development Bank headquartered? Now this is a very straightforward, simple question. It can be linked to the international institutions topic of our ESI syllabus, and it comes under the ESI as well as the GA section. Okay. Now the answer to this question is Abidjan. So friends, here you can pause the video and have a look at the important points like this African Development Bank is a part of African Development Bank Group. Okay, it was founded in 1964. What are the other two entities? And where is its headquarters that we have just seen as part of the question? Now let us have a look at question number 4. So it says, following are some of the observations that were related to the employment trends in India as per the census 2011. So which of the following observations is or are correct? This particular question can be linked to the employment generation topic of the ESI syllabus. Now let us have a look at the statements one by one. So the first statements, among literates, unemployment rates were actually higher among the better qualified. Yes, this statement is correct. At all levels of education, the unemployment rates were higher in the rural areas than in the urban areas. Yes, this statement also stands to be correct. At every level of education, especially at the higher levels, female unemployment exceeded the male unemployment. Yes, definitely correct. Overall, India's unemployment rate grew from 6.8% in the year 2001 to 9.6% in 2011 based on the official census data. Yes, this statement also stands to be correct. So the answer is all the above. All the statements are correct. So here you can have a look at this particular data. Just pause the video and just look at it for just 20 to 30 seconds. So all the statements that we have discussed are correct. So you can just see the employment trends as per the census 2011. Now let us have a look at question number 5. It says, which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank? Okay. Now let us go statement by statement. The first one, Japan has the highest shareholding in AIIB. No, this statement is incorrect. In fact, China is a country which has a higher shareholding in it. Next, India has the second highest shareholding in this particular bank. Yes, this statement is correct. So this becomes our correct answer. AIIB is headquartered in Shanghai, China. This statement is incorrect because though it is headquartered in China, it is headquartered in Beijing. Now friends, there is an important bank that is New Development Bank, NDB, or the BRICS Bank. Okay, that particular bank is actually headquartered in Shanghai, China, and BRICS country stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The authorized capital of the bank is 200 billion US dollars. No, the answer is actually 100 billion US dollars. So this statement also becomes incorrect. So the correct option is the second statement, that is India has the second highest shareholding in AIIB. You can have a look at the description of the bank here. Kindly pause the video and take your time and have a look at it. So the bank was proposed by China in 2013, but the initiative was launched in the year 2014. Right? You can see the stakeholders of this particular bank. Now you can have a look at the answers for the questions that we have just discussed. So friends, with this we have come to the end of this video today. So friends, before we just end this video, I would just like to mention that EduTap is coming up with a series called Fast Track series. This is a series, a very short one in fact, so where we shall be giving you some important insights as to what you need to learn for the examination, some quick facts. We shall not be going deep into the concepts, but this is a very important one because as the exam dates are nearing, there are a couple of things that you actually need to remember, and it becomes very impossible for us to recollect everything. So once you revise these things multiple times, it is going to help you out while solving your examination paper. So in today's video, if you found it useful, kindly like, subscribe and share. The PDF format of this particular video can be accessed from EduTap's Telegram channel, and really thank you so much for the response for this particular initiative. It really gives us the motivation to work harder each day. Till then friends, thank you so much and happy learning.